Why is Japan's population generally slim and severely aging? Because they don't like overweight people or little boys. Once humans, as a species, master a new tool, they always want to try something exciting. Look, on July 16, 1945, they had just developed the atomic bomb, and by August 6 of the same year, they couldn't wait to hold a Hiroshima Summer Festival. The atomic bomb, as humanity's ultimate weapon for now, has power that cannot be underestimated. Some have even exaggerated, claiming that detonating all nuclear bombs could destroy Earth. But as we've analyzed in previous videos, that's impossible. Trying to wipe out Earth with nuclear bombs is like sending a running pig to defeat the Monkey King. The energy from a nuclear explosion, compared to that from volcanic eruptions and tectonic movements, is like Wu Dalong and Wu Song comparing underwear size, or a paramecium competing with a third sister in technology. In short, humans today cannot destroy the Earth. So in the future, if human technology advances to a certain level, is it possible for us to destroy the Earth or even the entire universe? Of course, the universe itself also has a lifespan. Perhaps it would destroy itself before humans ever get the chance. I'm sure everyone has heard of the law of entropy increase. Entropy is a physical quantity used to describe the degree of disorder within a system. In a closed system, if there is no input of external energy, it will always tend to become more and more chaotic and disordered. That is, entropy increases. If I don't clean my room, it will only get messier, not tidier. If I don't take care of my underwear, it will only get more worn out, not newer. This is also a process where the system tends to become more uniform internally. When hot and cold air mix evenly, that's also an increase in entropy. If you mix spaghetti and number 42 concrete together until they're uniform, that's also an increase in entropy. The universe as a whole is also experiencing entropy increase. It will tend toward greater disorder and uniformity. Stars will burn out, galaxies will disintegrate, and black holes will evaporate. When the entropy of the universe reaches its maximum, all matter will turn into thermal radiation evenly distributed, energy will no longer be able to flow, and the universe will fall into silence. This is what is commonly referred to as heat death. Of course, this way of the universe ending is extremely slow and distant. We probably, maybe, will never see that day. So, is there a faster and more efficient way to destroy the universe? Of course, there is a way: vacuum decay. First, we need to understand a fundamental law of the universe. The lower the energy of a system, the more stable it is. Energy always wants to fall from a high energy, unstable state to a lower energy, more stable state. It always seeks to return to stability. For example, an apple that has fallen on someone's head is more stable than one hanging on a tree, because its gravitational potential energy, the vacuum of the universe, is the state with the lowest energy level. And in quantum field theory, there's a certain hypothesis. The vacuum of our current universe isn't actually at the lowest energy level. It's not a true vacuum, but a false vacuum, which means there's still room to drop further, so it's not the most stable state. It's like buying stocks. You think you've bought at the bottom, but actually you're halfway up the mountain. How frustrating is that? If the false vacuum were to collapse into the true vacuum, it would trigger a vacuum decay. Once this decay starts, it would spread at the speed of light, and everything in its path, all matter, would be destroyed. Even atomic structures would instantly disintegrate, and the entire universe would turn into a chaotic plasma soup, everything mixed together. You're in me, I'm in you. Compared to a cosmic disaster of this scale, even photons would pale in fear, and two-dimensional foils would be utterly silent. It's like giving the universe a complete disk format. Since vacuum decay spreads at the speed of light, there's absolutely no way to detect it in advance. It's entirely possible that we could be eating hot pot, singing songs, happily playing on our phones, and then, suddenly, everything's gone. Speaking of phones, I recently got a new one. When you get a new phone, how do you usually deal with the old one? As for me, I usually just throw it away. Of course, vacuum decay isn't something that happens easily. According to quantum field theory, the false vacuum in our current universe is like a small ball resting in a temporarily stable dip halfway up a mountain. For it to roll down to the bottom of the valley, it first has to cross an uphill energy barrier, which means it needs an external push with enough energy. How much energy would that take? No one knows. But even after the universe went through the Big Bang, it still didn't fall to the true vacuum. This means that the required energy must be at least equal to or greater than the energy present at the moment of the Big Bang. In Liu Cixin's short story, The Morning of the World, there's a story about humanity building a 30-kilometer-long global particle accelerator along the 45 parallel north to conduct experiments. Just before the experiment was about to begin, an alien calling himself the Risk Eliminator suddenly appeared and with a wave of his hand made the particle accelerator disappear. As compensation, he even thoughtfully planted grasslands in the human deserts. Although you've lost your particle accelerator, you've gained a vast green prairie, he said. He told humanity that with such high-speed machinery operating on Earth, the energy generated during its operation would reach the level of the Big Bang. Yeah, go ahead and mess around. Keep messing around. You humans will drain the energy from the solar system, throw the Milky Way into chaos, trigger vacuum decay, and ultimately destroy the universe, of course. In reality, reaching the energy levels of the Big Bang is probably a bit difficult, but that doesn't mean we can relax just yet. As everyone knows, in the microscopic world of quantum mechanics, there's the phenomenon of quantum tunneling. Microscopic particles can exist anywhere at the same time, and their energy levels aren't fixed. They might be halfway up a hill, or they might tunnel straight through an energy barrier and end up at the bottom of a valley, causing vacuum decay. Although the probability of this happening is very low, when you scale it up to the size of the universe, any probability greater than 0 means it will eventually happen, just like my chances of winning over Yifei. Even if the odds are only 1 in 10,000, as long as I reincarnate a trillion times, then theoretically, I should succeed at least once. So, in theory, vacuum decay could happen at any moment. It's completely random and impossible to predict. It might occur a trillion years from now, or it could happen tomorrow at 9:36:55 in the morning. It's even possible that it has already happened somewhere in the universe, but just hasn't spread to Earth yet. If vacuum decay occurred somewhere more than 2.5 light years years away from Earth, it would still take at least 2.5 years to reach us. Fortunately, the universe is unimaginably vast, so if vacuum decay happened tens of billions of light years away, it would take hundreds of billions of years to reach us. So there's no need to worry about the universe being destroyed. You still have to go work, and if you're meant to be a wage slave, you still have to keep at it.